So this is going to be a different video from like the other videos from reviews and all that. I just recently graduated with a bachelor's in psychology, and so, well, to be more exact, a bachelor of arts in psychology. I just wanted to kind of state a few thoughts I had. I just wanted to say them out loud. Maybe I won't upload this, maybe I will, I do not know. So what I'm left thinking is, well, now what do I do? At first I had a different idea of what I wanted to do, but things have changed and I've come to realize other things about myself, and it makes me think, well, maybe I want something else from this life and what I want to do with whatever years I have to work and enjoy life itself. I believe I have to go from the beginning, and the way when I was in high school, I remember that we had to take this orientation test for, what jobs would you be suited for, which I found kind of ridiculous because there were questions such as, well, do you enjoy working with your hands, or do you enjoy building stuff or deconstructing stuff? And well, while I didn't always do that, I did enjoy working with my hands. I mean, I would sometimes just grab the radio and kind of take one part off and put it back on, and then I would take more pieces out and stuff like that. And the thing is that it's not that I work with my hands, or that I lean towards that type of hobbies of working with radios and electricity, stuff that that they're asking, that would be oriented towards engineers or electricians, that type of thing. And that's the thing, it's obvious by the questions that they ask towards what careers they're asking for. And so, oh, you enjoy listening to people, you enjoy helping others, this and that. And so that can lead to kind of very, I don't want to say non-accurate, but towards, biased answers. And so, because you have a feel of what they're asking, you can orientate the test to show what it is that you want. So if they ask, oh, do you like biology, do you like chemistry, if you wanted to say, oh, I'm a doctor, or I want to be a doctor, you can go towards that, and the test results will show, oh, hey, you're a doctor, or you want to be a doctor. And so that's kind of like what happened, because I noticed this and I wasn't very sure. I just answered what I wanted, but I tried to make it truthful because I did want to make an honest attempt. When I spoke with the counselor, he said, well, you can be this, or that. And then once you graduate, you have to go to college, you have to get a loan, and then this, and that. I mean, the way that the counselor explained it, it was overbearing and it was just too much. And you're talking about, you're telling this to a 16-year-old. I was 16 when I was a junior. By the time I graduated, I was 17, but, that's the thing. You're 16, you have this grown man giving you a list of tasks that you have to do in order to go on with your life after high school. And it's like, what? It might be a little bit different now, but, in the early 2000s, that's, it felt a little bit different. And so I was expected to already know what I wanted. And the truth is, I wasn't. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to be. And I still don't. And, with everything going on with my family, because, a family member had some health issues that were very important. It wasn't like I was expending too much time thinking about what I wanted to be. Even my parents were, well, you should know. Well, no, I don't know. So when they asked, the only thing that can come to mind is what everybody had been telling me, that, oh, you should become a doctor, you're smart. Okay, I said I wanted to be a doctor. And so this has led me to kind of, these kind of off situations where I've learned that, you know, being a doctor is not really when once you're in the medical field, you do see how things actually are. You know, especially like with medicine, it becomes very much your life, and it really invades your personal life. So that's like the type of thing I don't want. I don't want to, go home with my family and then get a call like, "Oh, you have to come back for your patient." I need my time. I can't just be on work mode like 24 hours a day. Some people can. Okay, great for you. Some people will say, "Oh, that's not how it is," or, "Oh, I'm a doctor and I don't live like that." Good for you. But there's many doctors that they have that stress of having to split their personal time with their family. They have to split it with work. Why? Because it's health, and you can't just endanger other people's health just because of your own needs. So I really that wasn't for me. When I went back to college, uh, I decided to major in biology because I still didn't know what I wanted. And I do like biology and especially human biology, but that wasn't a degree that was offered in my college. So I did the transfer for, um, well, I was originally doing it for biology. However, there was a class that I needed to take which I couldn't take because I was working, and it's one of those classes that fill up really quickly. And I even if I couldn't get into the class, it was at 10 a.m. while I was at work. And so I couldn't say, "Oh, I'm gonna go to work at 8, then I have to leave at, I don't know, 8:30 just to get the bus and then go to college," because it does take the bus quite a bit of time to get there. And so it was like, no, this is not gonna work. And then what was killer is that in order to finish the degree, I would have had to gone to a different city, a city which more expensive to live in. I would require a lot of transportation, more than I already did. It was going to be a lot of money, but also, you know, added like the rent and the food and everything else. If I wanted to get a job, you can't get that many jobs not having a bachelor's, like, and not even having a college degree yet. There's not a lot of jobs out there for that. And so I opted for what was closer. And in our city, we do have a satellite campus. And I decided to do a transfer, but for psychology instead. I'm not really interested in giving like psychotherapy and all that, but taking in a few psychology classes and talking with a couple of the professors, I did learn that psychology was a little bit more than just, "Hey, lay down and how was your childhood like?" It's actually much different than that, and there's like a variety of, like a wide variety of fields that you can focus psychology into. The way I imagine it's kind of like a fan. Uh, with psychology, you can, if you wanted to go into medicine, you can. If you wanted to go into public health, you can. If you wanted to be a therapist or a psychologist, or if you wanted to go into research, or if you wanted to become a teacher, or if you wanted to become a social worker. So there's a lot of applications and there's a lot of places to go with a degree in psychology. Now, that being said, I still don't know what to do because while my time, in my time working in my undergraduates for psychology, I did have to take a couple of classes that were on like psychological disorders and child development, things of that nature. But it still, um, one of the things that I kind of spent the most time on was on research, um, as in becoming like a research assistant of sorts, but also working on my undergraduate thesis. And it was great. I'm not gonna lie, it was great. But it still didn't answer my question. What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? And, you know, I had been looking into neuropsychology. Now, if I were to go to Mexico, for example, because I live at a border region, there is a neuropsychology master's program across the border. Um, and they would accept my degree here in the US, and then I would be able to kind of come back with a master's. The only issue was that, well, one, with the pandemic, going back and forth was kind of impossible. Even now, it takes hours to go and come back across the border. But also, there's this fact in which here in the US, in neuropsychology is not the same as neurosciences, right? Um, and so neuropsychology is more like a specialty that you lean into as you're becoming a psychologist, not as a master's. And so coming back here with a master's in neuropsychology, it really doesn't mean that you're working as a neuropsychologist. Because in the US, you cannot sit down for those examinations unless you have a PhD, unless you've been in an accredited program to become a psychologist for your licensing. So it's quite different from how they handle it over in Mexico. And so that is kind of the thing that, okay, well, that plan aside, now I also had to, pass my classes. I had a full schedule, work on my thesis and everything. So I didn't really have much opportunity to look into my other options. And so now I'm in this position where, okay, now I have time to think, but I still don't know what I want to do. With the whole pandemic situation, looking at the public health policies and how they've handled it, the things I don't like and the things I do like on how this whole thing has been handled so far, I do want to say I'm leaning towards public health, but I'm not sure. In any rate, you know, for master's programs, most of them don't open their enrollment period until October or like late this year. So I still have time before that. And so in the meantime, what do I do? Do I not do anything? Do I just wait until then? Obviously not. And so I became a full-time student just so that I could finish on time. Now, how do I go back to the workplace? Right? For now, the only thing I can think of is becoming a substitute teacher. And with my bachelor's, I can now, um, you know, right now I'm planning on taking, I've already taken a test that you have to take, um, which is for like the basic skills like reading and writing, man, math. But there's another test that you take in order to qualify to, it's a requisite so that you can teach a single subject. And I'm thinking about taking that test. And it would be for the sciences. The only thing is I'm going over right now the kind of like the preparation materials that they have available online, and then schedule for the test and then take it and apply. I know that right now the applications, they're kind of backtracked here in the school county, and it doesn't matter. I mean, at least it is a plan B. That's all I can hope for. Have my plan B and then work towards, either keep on working towards a master's in psychology or for a PhD in psychology, even though I don't want to work in that field, because I could also focus on academia. But academia, there's a lot of, well, just like in everywhere else, it's a lot of bureaucracy. You know, you're fighting for classes to teach, you're fighting for hours so that you can become full time, you're fighting for tenure. You also need to fight for, you know, getting funding for research, because if you become a professor at a university, you need to do research. and you are required to write papers and all of this. Is this something I want? I do not know. Then there's the issue of public health. Public health can be either like a master's or it can be a doctorate. What's the advantage? And I mean, from what I could tell in the research I have done, with the masters you can already work, and with doctors the only difference is that you might be able to teach a class at a university, or it doesn't really make you more qualified compared to somebody who just has a master's in public health. So that so I could, go for that, or even if I go for a PhD in anything else. Many PhD programs do give an option to, along the way, obtain your master's in public health. But then it leads back to the question, what do I want to do? What is my field? What is my profession? I don't know how many people actually deal with this question. I don't know how many people wonder this or how many people actually have this uncertainty, because, I have peers that already know what they're doing, peers that are already, you know, in their masters or have already been accepted. I have no idea what I'm doing. So the only thing I can do for now is, well, the only thing I have planned is wait until the end of the year so that enrollment periods open and apply. And, in the meantime, work in my plan B, getting my credentials as a substitute teacher or even a teacher if it's possible. And also, you know, work doing that, work being a teacher in the meantime. If it's possible or if it isn't possible, that's like one thing, but that's all I have for now. I don't know. I want to say other people might also be in the same situation. I don't know. I mean, with the classes that you don't, it's not like it's a cohort. So you do meet a couple of people that share multiple classes with you, but in the end, who do you really know? And there's not that many people I can actually talk to about this. But that just might be me then. At any rate, if I do decide to upload this and you did listen till the end, thank you. I mean, thank you for listening to my ramblings. Hopefully if you are in that situation as a student, you do know what you're going to be and you do accomplish your goals. But yeah, I'll leave it there for now. Thank you, and have a great day.